Black Ops, classic Halo, 2000s Modern Warfare, the OG Battlefronts, the list goes on and on. Each of these games are renowned for their split-screen gameplay, with some owing their entire multiplayer success simply to their ability to be played by multiple people in the same room. I can't imagine how my experiences with COD Zombies or Halo's campaign would have differed if I hadn't first experienced them with friends by my side. And while I'm sure nostalgia fuels much of my fondness for split-screen games, that doesn't entirely explain why I still enthusiastically enjoy them today. There's just something special when it comes to enjoying a medium like video games while in the company of friends. Online multiplayer does a great job at mimicking this feeling, and while it does get close, it can never fully replicate the experience of playing games with friends side by side. But for all my love of split-screen and couch co-op games, there's been a notable lack of them within recent years. While yes, games such as Overcooked, Unravel, and It Takes Two have helped sustain the couch co-op genre, the era of AAA split-screen games and FPS couch co-op is dying. Gone are the nights spent staying up until 4 a.m. with friends, battling through the latest Halo campaign, engaging in free-for-alls in Black Ops local lobbies, or dominating Galactic Conquest in Battlefront. Games today either release with severely limited split-screen options or avoid adding the feature entirely. But why is this happening? Well, from what I've gathered, there are three main reasons often cited for the decline of split-screen gaming, specifically in the AAA space: hardware limitations, monetization challenges, and a perceived lack of interest. To me, these explanations leave much to be desired, as I firmly believe that couch co-op still offers some of the best gaming experiences, and I'm not alone in this sentiment. In this video, we'll dive into the reasons behind the startling absence of split-screen in modern multiplayer games, evaluate the merit of these claims, and explore how split-screen gaming has evolved over the past decade. So let's get started. The most understandable reason why split-screen games have fallen off is the significant demand that split-screen puts on the hardware of modern consoles. But how, you might ask? With technology continually improving, one might wonder how previous generations of consoles were able to run split-screen games much more easily compared to today's machines. Well, the answer lies in how split-screen works and the performance demands of modern multiplayer games. You see, when implementing split-screen, the game has to render two separate views simultaneously, which can effectively double a game's performance requirements. This means the console has to handle twice the graphical workload, which can strain hardware resources. This wasn't that big of a problem for games like Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, which ran at 60 frames per second at 720p, but as gaming has evolved to higher resolutions like 1080p and even 4K, and frame rates have far exceeded 60 FPS, maintaining performance for split screen has become much more complex and resource intensive. Because of this, when developers are considering adding split screen to their game, they're faced with a tough choice. They can either reduce the resolution, which would undoubtedly upset some players, lower the FPS, which directly affects gameplay, especially in competitive titles, or they can do away with split screen entirely. Many studios have chosen this third option, and while I personally disagree with the decision, it's not hard to see why split screen would be the first to go out of these choices. In developers' eyes, no one is buying the game specifically for split screen. Yes, it's a feature that many enjoy and love, but if it's going to affect the performance or resolution of their final product, it can make sense just to do away with it entirely. And from that perspective, I can see why games would do away with split screen, especially those that are online multiplayer only, like Overwatch or Valorant, games where FPS is crucial to maintaining a thriving competitive scene. However, that doesn't explain the decline across the board. Plenty of online games that aren't competitive could easily offer split screen with lower frame rates or resolution. Games like Sea of Thieves, Helldivers, Deep Rock Galactic, or even Palworld would be so much fun to play with 4 friends on the same TV, even if the split screen mode was restricted to non-online play. These are perfect examples of games that could benefit from split screen couch co-op, even if there's a dip in graphical quality. I'd happily play these games with friends on the couch, and I'm sure I'm not alone. So if hardware limitations aren't the only issue, what else is causing split screen to fall out of fashion? Lack of monetization is perhaps the most straightforward explanation for the decline. Why give players the ability to enjoy a game together on one console when you can sell them multiple copies? If I want to play a game with friends or family, I can't just invite them over and toss them a controller. They need their own copy. And if they don't have a console or PC, well, they're out of luck. It's an easy way for companies to increase sales, and it's a sad reality for those of us who miss the days of simple couch co-op. This is where I want to shout out some games that go against this trend, like It Takes Two and A Way Out. If you haven't played either of these, you're missing out on a great experience. Both games offer split screen and allow online play with a friend, even if only one person owns the game. In my opinion, Both these games are top tier, and I couldn't recommend them enough. So huge credit to Hazelight Studios for going against the grain and keeping couch co-op alive. I mean, compare this to the current state of split screen in massive franchises like Call of Duty and Halo, where the ability for local play has only gotten worse in recent years. Call of Duty has gone from supporting 4-player split screen in any mode to just 2 players in limited multiplayer modes. Halo 5 was infamous for many reasons, one of them being that it had no split screen at all. And while Halo Infinite initially promised a split screen co-op campaign, a feature that the whole franchise is known for, split screen was later dropped for the campaign, leaving it only available in multiplayer. Given this, it's become quite clear just how much of an afterthought split screen has become in recent years, which leads us into our final topic. The final reason often cited for the death of split screen gaming is the one I disagree with most, which is the idea that people just aren't interested in these games anymore. Developers and publishers seem to think the demand for local multiplayer games just isn't there anymore and is therefore not worth the effort. But is this really the whole picture? I don't think so. I'd argue that the problem with this idea is that it assumes players don't want options. Just because online play is now the norm doesn't mean split screen has no place. In fact, I believe the absence of split screen in many modern games is what has led to this perceived lack of interest. How can players express their desire for something that's rarely offered anymore? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Developers stopped offering split screen and then point to its absence in the marketplace as proof that no one cares. But the reality is, many gamers, myself included, do care. We just haven't been given the chance to show it. Take a game like Fortnite, for example, which I can't believe this is true, but it nails modern split screen. In 2020, Epic Games quietly added split screen support for couch co-op. While the feature wasn't widely advertised, it's there, and many players who stumble upon it find themselves having a blast. I, for one, have loved having the option to play this game with my girlfriend in the same room, as it's one of the few games she really enjoys. It's proof that even in the age of online multiplayer dominance, there's still a place for local co-op gaming. Or take a look at It Takes Two, a game I mentioned earlier. This game is completely based around creating the perfect couch co-op experience, and players loved it. It's not only rated highly, but also won several awards, including Game of the Year. Both of these examples go to show that there is definitely an interest in split-screen games, that while rare now, were in abundance 10 years ago. I mean, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you enjoy playing games with friends in the same room on the same screen? Yes, LAN parties are always solid, great ways to have fun, but the ease and simplicity of split screen is part of what makes it shine. Split screen has consistently been the best way I've found to introduce people to video games, and has given me some of the best gaming memories of my life. So let me know what you think, whether or not you feel the same way I do, and what's your favorite game to play couch co-op on. I'd love to get some more opinions on this topic. And speaking of split screen, the newer Battlefronts did a great job creating an exciting and fun local play mode within their games, which could be another reason I think EA deserves more credit for Star Wars, which is an idea I delved into in one of my previous videos, so check it out. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. For a channel my size, it truly is the best way to support me and pushes me to continue making videos for you guys. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next week.